It is Sunday, June the 9th, 2019. Bitcoin is surfing a head and shoulders top formation. In today's episode, we'll look at the relative strength index, the on-balance volume, the MACD indicators, and a good look at the Ichimoku Cloud patterns. If this is what you like to do with your Sunday afternoons, be sure to subscribe so you get the next episode of the 24 Hours of Bitcoin. I do recommend that you pause the video and read through the disclaimer. This isn't financial advice, just market commentary. Let's jump into the price charts, and we're going to start off by looking at the 5-year view, and we're looking at the weekly view of Bitcoin and comparing the relative strength index. Something that we've been watching along over the last many episodes is what happened in the past with the relative strength index as the bull market took off last time. So as things were taking off, each time that we pulled back, the relative strength index on the weekly stopped here and then went higher each time we were continuing on the next step of the bull trend. And so I am anticipating that is going to be coming back here and touching on what is the sort of the longer term uptrend of this weekly RSI. And so from this, it would give us at least a little feeling that we are within the range, within from now until this level, that the RSI could be switching directions in the weekly view and zipping back up. If, as we're zooming in now, we should start to see that change directions in the shorter term time frames first, and really not yet. It's still slipping a little bit lower. So this needs to pull back deeper, at least until these levels in the daily, before this is going to be giving us a turnaround. And I was anticipating prices would come back further and that the RSI would only come back to this level to give us a nice divergence, a bullish divergence, but that's not really giving us the bullish divergence yet here. I'm going to zoom into the 12-hour view, and we can see the RSI is a little bit, it's flat, and prices, it's not giving us a bullish divergence here. We are seeing lower RSI all the way along. It can still go quite a lot more oversold before we're bouncing and bringing our way back up. We haven't seemed to hit a bottom on this yet. And that's in the 12-hour time frame. It still is 1, 2, 3 top formation, nesting 1, 2, 3 top formations, which shows more momentum. So we've got the number 1 point here, the number 2, the number 3. It broke below that, came back up and tested it against it, and is now showing weakness. So this is one of the 2 different sale or short sell exit places here, either to get out of your trade or to take on a short as this kind of formation shapes up according to your own trading plan. Now we're at the 12-hour. I'm going to zoom in on this indicator, and we are getting a little bit more of a bullish divergence here on the 4-hour time frame, but nothing to say it's turning around fully yet. The only thing is that we have higher lows here, and it still hasn't punctured these second levels of lows all the way along. And when it does, or should it do that, that's confirming this short sell up here for sure. And it could be the place to add on to your short sell, or to liquidate, go more to a stable coin or what have you. And that's sort of a strategy just for the 1, 2, 3 top formations and observing what's going on with the RSI. Now I'm going to zoom out to the 1 week view of the on balance volume. And all the way through the past, we've stayed above these levels. When we were in the uptrend, the on balance volume may have dipped to the 0 level, but almost never went below 0 on the weekly level. So if we're in the trend, it's going to stay above 0 all the way along. And coming back a little bit is expected for the weekly view. In the daily view, we can now, I want to pull this chart back and get perspective on, look at what happened in the last uptrend. On the daily view, we had some really deep selling down to the 40,000 level on this indicator, and whatever the number means, it's all relative to, it hit 40,000 a whole bunch of times when it was at these bottoms before a turnaround. I want to pay attention to when it comes down to that deep of selling, and it hasn't yet. So maybe we are in for more deep selling yet before it comes back up. Now, if we go into the 3-month view, we can see that we are getting more of that divergence that we were talking about all the way along as it was coming up. That we've got more and more on-balance selling rather than turning into on-balance buying to show a turnaround, which supports more bearish indicators, it's a more of a bearish indicator from here, supporting that this is a head and shoulders top formation, and we could be coming back to the $6,000 level, which is, normal price action for the range we've gone through. Here again, I'm trying to look at the selling here and comparing how much selling we had here. And I want to watch for deeper selling coming into this yet before there's going to be that pocket, that turnaround, and that opportunity that we're looking at for a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation on the internal 1, 2, 3 bottom before it takes off and goes back up. Now, when we go on to the MACD indicator, we were talking about this last time, that the green line was losing a bit of momentum. The histograms for the first time had taken a step back on the weekly view. And that was really key, because when that happened in the past, those were times that were really important for the top formation being confirmed, at least for a pullback on the weekly view. When we go into the daily view, this had crossed over and given us the divergence that we were watching unfold here before the top formation broke. So this is really important. However, it's not yet showing that we've hit a bottom and going to be turning around yet. Instead, when we go back and we review all of this in the past, every time we had the break at the top, it had to come back below zero before the green line crossed over and we had the next run up. So now we're seeing what kind of on-balance volume selling we should be getting. We're seeing what kind of RSI levels we should be aiming for. And we're getting the MACD indicator crossovers as to tell us when that pullback is deep enough and that we are going to get something turning around the other way. So for me, this is still got to come back and do the crossover when it's down below this midpoint. These are all great things to watch for. Now I want to go on to the Ichimoku Cloud, and we're looking at the 1-day view. So when the price is above the cloud and the blue line is above the red line, this is all good stuff. I want to pull it back now and zoom back and take a look at what happened in the last big uptrend for this indicator. When we were above this green cloud, things were going good all the way along. And you can see that the blue line crossed above the red line and it stayed above. It kind of brushed against it as we had this pullback, but the blue line stayed above the red line until after the top formation before we went into the cloud. So if this blue line crosses the red any time in the daily time frame, it's red alert. It's time to be really watching out what's going on in Bitcoin. Should it recross again, it's green alert. It's time to jump it back on this train. So watching where this conversion line and baseline crossover from the daily view and the Ichimoku Cloud is going to be really key. I'm going to zoom in now to the 12-hour view, and we can see that in this time frame, it's already crossed. We've already had the 1, 2, 3 top formation. It's coming into the cloud, and a break below these levels is more confirming the sell signal. So for my own questioning, what happened in the uptrend last time with this Ichimoku Cloud? And if we can pull this back and let it load up a second here. Now, when I zoom in on this, of course, we're expecting that it did cross over more often, but it's really key to see that this blue line stayed above the red line throughout the majority of the whole entire trend. There's a few times it crossed over, but when it does cross, it's quite an important indicator of which direction we're going, especially if we're above the cloud. This is a really fantastic cross right here, this moment. Let me just circle this one because that's what we're hunting for now. We're looking for this pullback into the cloud on this level, then the crossover of the conversion line over the baseline. Let me pull us back now to current time, and we have a ways to go yet before that's turning up. Let me clear that off and drag this over. So we're still seeing the cloud is green. We're dipping into the cloud. Should this blue line cross above the red, when it crosses above the red, it's like the horse race is starting. This is going to be really important, and we'll watch this one over and over again. When we start zooming in on the 4-hour time frame, 1, 2, 3 top formations breaking over. The more of those that break and they layer on top of each other, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, break. Those are all, we can anticipate some more bloodshed. We see that the crossover has happened so that we've got the red cloud here now. This is all bearish. Now I'm going to continue on and wrap it up here. First, we'll look at Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Stellar versus US dollar, all of them making top formations and showing weakness right now. At least it's panic before the next move up, but likely all of these head and shoulders top formations at the same time, probably going down further in all of them. And we've been talking about this for all the time, because when we look at this, we can see that there is plenty of time for it to come back, from the 270 down to the 175, consolidate here, and then continue on the trend. This would be perfectly healthy. This would be great. And we can see the same thing in the daily view. If we look at Litecoin, it's got lots of room to pull back and consolidate here at the $65, $70 level. That's all normal 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, trend change occurrences. That's all good stuff. However, when we start zooming in, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and Stellar, we're seeing that all of these are going down against Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going down, and these are going down against Bitcoin. So when we look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, even though Bitcoin's making a top formation and coming back, the alts are doing worse, and so Bitcoin dominance is going up. And we can see that altcoins are doing worse when we look at the altcoin market cap versus dominance. They are coming off of this formation and pulling back. So all of the alts are suffering even more than Bitcoin is as this top formation breaks out. And this is really important if you are trading altcoins. Pardon me. And you can see here in some of our cryptocurrency analysis where you can get these trade alerts with us. I'll put this link up in the chat right now so that you can go and check it out. And this shows our top alerts right now and the profits that they were holding last time I refreshed this. But these are all making top formations now, and we're looking at taking some of these profits now on these trades. And we have, out of the 27 open trades, 20 of them are profitable, but I'm expecting and watching now for top formations in these alts. I want to know if we are pulling back and we're continuing downward from there. If you're interested in this kind of training, click over to digitalcurrencytraders.com. There is a link in the description down below where you can go over to our training center. You can learn more about our core cryptocurrency trading strategies, and it would be great to have you along and join us. We've had a number of people joining up recently, and I'm happy to have you guys along and to really capitalize on what is happening when it's happening. Thanks again for tuning in. Good luck in all of your Bitcoin trading. Until tomorrow. This is the last of this episode of the 24 Hours of Bitcoin.